Hi y'all, it is the Southern Belle from Hell here, and I am back with a realistic family, single family, kind of a small family home build. And this is actually a request from someone that is in the same Facebook group that I'm in. And come to find out, he's actually from near where I'm originally from. So that was kind of cool. And he sent me these plans, and there was a bunch of different swatches with this house plan. So I just kind of got creative and, kind of picked a swatch that was easy to replicate in The Sims. And when I say swatches, I mean like the outside color decor. It's a really cute house. It just looks like, a very humble, sweet family live here. So I'm building this in Newcrest in one of the corner lots. And I didn't want the lot to be too big. I wanted it to look, kind of fitting for the size of this house. It's not a tiny house. It's just like your middle, enough for 3-bed, 2-bath type of thing, and a good patio in the back. So what I'm doing right now, because these windows are exactly like the plans, and I've listed the plans in the description box below. I'm just kind of fitting them and trying to make them look as close to the pictures as I possibly can. I was trying to get the colors right according to the swatch, and I end up mixing it up a little bit because I decide to make the shutters a light green, because the first picture you come across, one of the wallpapers is like a light green shingle, but I couldn't find a light green shingle that looked good in The Sims. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do the shutters as the light green shingle, and I think it came out looking pretty cute. So what I decided to do with this front porch, it had porch swings, so I had to kind of custom make my own porch swing, because I really did it. To me, it just fit in with this house to have a porch swing. So I used these poles from Lovestruck, and to me it looked better than the rope. The rope just looked so tiny when I tried to fit it. I don't know why, it just didn't look right to me. So I use these poles because to me it kind of has that color texture, like a rope hanging down. So I knew I needed to kind of stretch out this house, and once I have the front look kind of down, I just kind of, elongate it, and it had a garage in the side. Now, this house isn't 2-story, but I end up putting a story just for the time being on top, so I can put that, what is it? What is it called? That white thing on top. Y'all know what I mean. So basically, you can only do that when you have 2 stories. So I kind of messed with it a little bit so I could still have that. It's not a freeze. You know what? It'll come to me in a second. So yeah, that was what I was doing. If you were like, wait, is it 2-story? No, it's not 2-story. And here's the back patio. One of the things he specified that he really wanted was a back patio with a grill and a little hangout spot. So just kind of making that and making it big enough so that you can have parties and get-togethers and stuff. And there was a little back door next to the garage, but I didn't like the way it looked right next to the garage door. So I'm just kind of fixing that area up. The layout of the house, according to the plans, is a little bit different. So I changed it so it could kind of fit in with, Sims 4 dimensions. Because originally, the kitchen's supposed to be at the front of the house, and I end up putting it in the back because I kind of like the way it looked like going off from the living room and facing the backyard. That's just a me thing. I really like the idea of a kitchen looking out over like a little manicured backyard area. And in the pictures, there's like this wraparound walkway, and it has this raised like flower beds, and I kind of lifted up the ground just a tad, so it kind of blends in with the garage, and you still have that lifted look of, these pine needles being stacked on top of each other when I painted the ground. I don't know, to me it looked more realistic that way, because when you have a flower bed and it is, it's got the pine needles and stuff on there, it's off the ground, it's not flat like the rest of the ground. So I just kind of lifted it. I didn't lift it all the way around because I didn't want to upset the dimensions too much, so everything could still be functional. But I did do it like around the corners of the house and stuff like that. And I decided, like, this isn't in the pictures or anything, but I decided to put like a little tiny garden fence just around this corner, so it's not just going, straight out to the back fence. And I don't know, I thought it just added like a little something extra to the backyard, and kind of gave it more of a kept up look. So like in the pictures, we have this house that looks like, it's been newly built and everything. So the flower beds aren't, coated with a whole bunch of greenery and shrubbery and stuff like that. So you're going to see me kind of like place some plants around so that it's, it looks like it was freshly planted and hasn't had time to really grow into each other. I thought that was like a cute little tidbit, because I usually kind of make my flower beds look super overgrown. So I try not to do that here because I kind of like the way it looked. And it had these two little trees that had red leaves on it, according to the pictures. And I wanted to replicate that. So yeah, it was kind of fun. And I kind of like that this lot is, and I intentionally picked a corner lot so I could do this build and it look as close to the picture as possible. I like to replicate pictures because it's fun. I don't need another reason besides that. Like I throw in my own creativity, but it's also neat to make something, I guess, come to life virtually, if that makes sense. So I kind of, picked the hosta bush right here because it looks a lot like the greenery and the shrubbery in the pictures. And there's a mix of these white flowers and pink flowers. So I just kind of like try to separate it out so that it still looks like, freshly planted plants. I wanted to have a little walkway going into the back porch, nothing big, nothing lavish, just like a simple little something that goes from the garage to, the little patio area. And I thought about putting more ferns, but then I went, you know what, I'm overdoing it. Let me just kind of scatter these ferns where it needs a little bit more plants here and there. And now I'm just putting down some pink. These are the azaleas. No, wait. They're not the azaleas. They have a super funny name in the build by menu, and it's the azaleas. I remember it was just too much greenery and not enough pink. And in the pictures, these are like, some pretty vibrant pink flowers. So I went with these. All right, so now trying to figure out the layout, I was trying to go by the blueprints, and I do go by it, but where the dining room ends up was where the kitchen was supposed to be, and I just really didn't like the placement of that. So I moved the kitchen to the back of the house, kind of off the garage area, and, the front door opens up into the living room, and I have a back door that's going to open up to the patio. Now, one of the styles the requester said he wanted was just kind of like this, modern country style, not like old West country, but, country. So we kind of use a lot of cottage living, and I know I use country kitchen, and I use cats and dogs a lot in this build too. He didn't tell me to put any cats and dog stuff in here, but we talked a lot about our pets. He told me he had a cat and a dog, or actually a few animals. So I decided to add cat and dog stuff in this house as well, per our conversation. He didn't really tell me a lot about the family dynamic of, his Sims gameplay. So I kind of, took the liberty and made it, kind of my own story that of course he can change and do what he wants with later. I decided to have like an adult couple in here, not young adult, but adult couple in here that has a teenage son, or maybe newly aged up to young adult son. And they have a guest bedroom just in case anyone, like family and stuff comes to visit. But they also use that guest bedroom as like their storage room. They've been together for a little while. The son's growing up. They need a little room to put their knickknacks and whatnot. I thought that would be super realistic, because I know in my guest bedroom, there's some boxes in there. I keep my Christmas decor in there. I have an attic, but I don't feel like going up to the attic. So, why not make that guest bedroom, make it cute, but also have like stuff in there. My whole plan wasn't to go super realistic at first, but as I was building it, I just kept getting this story in my mind. And I said, I'm going to shoot for something as realistic as possible. So the first room, which I usually always start with the kitchens as my first room, I knew I wanted to use the cottage living counter swatches as well as the country kitchen swatches, and that worked out fine. I played around with it, looked at the different styles I could mess around with, but when it came to the cabinets, that ended up being a doozy, guys. That was a pain, and I ended up actually using 3 different cabinet styles. One I believe is from Base Game. I might be wrong on that, but I'm almost positive one of the swatches is from Base Game. And I put a little island here. I didn't want to make it too big, because I know when I put in my islands, if they're too big, like if they're kind of catty corner or directly across from the oven or the sink, they're not functional. So that's why I kind of sized it down a little bit. And plus, this is, just a single family home. They don't need a huge island right in the middle of the kitchen, because they're going to have a dining room. So I sized it down a little bit, and here is where I end up putting the third swatch. Because none of it seemed to look right. Like, none of the cabinets seemed to look right in my opinion. But after I figure this little space out, and then it all comes easy. It was just getting through this little bit, and I was like, what is fitting in here? Because I have this picture in my mind, and I also printed it out and had it in front of me. But we get through it, and ends up looking super cute. And I do the other side of the kitchen, and like, you see me struggle a little bit there, but I figure it out a lot more quickly. No, wait, that doesn't make sense. I'm an English teacher. More quickly. I figure it out more. You know what? I figure it out faster. I can't think right now, and my grammar is off. So that part of the kitchen was a lot easier, a lot, more efficient to put together. And I really love these lights that hang down, little mason jars. And I thought that was so fitting with this look I was going for. And I don't really have like a specific color scheme for this kitchen, but I wanted to, have it look clean, have that country element in there, have a little bit of that rustic aesthetic, but also make sure that, it's modern. So we have the mixer over there. We've got a little waffle iron. All the appliances are modern. I end up changing the overhead stove vent to what we got from Lovestruck. And to me, that just seems to be like, it seemed to not be as bold as the cottage living one did. That one just seemed to be a little bit loud compared to everything else. So I'm just dressing up the kitchen. When I think of a country kitchen, I mean, obviously, if you can tell by my voice, I grew up in the country. I think of kind of like my grandmother's kitchen. Skipping over my words here. I think of like my grandmother's kitchen and my aunt's kitchen. My Aunt Nellie and my grandmother, Mima Betty, they always had a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of utensils. They had their coffee pots, they had all of these appliances and tools, and they always cooked really, really good. So when I think of a country kitchen, I think of, a really full kitchen full of tools that make food just taste unbelievably good. So yeah, I kind of dress it up a lot because I'm going off of my own memories here. And I always enjoy making kitchens like this because it's like nostalgic for me. I'm not going to say my kitchen is like this. My kitchen is just, like your typical modern kitchen. There's not like a specific aesthetic going on, is what I mean. But at least on The Sims, I can live vicariously and like decorate a kitchen without having to spend money on anything but the packs. So, I had some trouble trying to decide where to put stuff. So you kind of see me picking through things and maybe moving it around the house a little bit, but I didn't want to edit out too much of, I guess, my process. I feel like in my past several videos, I've edited out a lot, and it's almost like watching a short where you see the outcome, but you don't really see how I got there. So I'm trying not to edit out too much of this video. That's why it ended up being almost an hour long, because I don't edit out as much. It really didn't take me that long to build this whole house. It took me about 5 hours, which is, that's not long for me. So right now I'm just kind of like cluttering up the areas, making sure the decorations don't, cut into the appliances and things like that. And everything still looks orderly and neat and cute, all that great stuff. Absolutely love the pepper jars, because we all have pepper jars, at least where I'm at in South Mississippi now. And growing up, I remember my grandmother having pepper jars, but they were not like these huge jars that's in The Sims. They were like in little bottles or little mason jars, and she would have pickles and all sorts of stuff in these jars. And so when we got these in The Sims, I went, oh my gosh, nostalgia. I actually have something in a bottle. It's actually like a homemade hot sauce, and it's just a whole bunch of peppers sitting in this oil, and it's super hot. And yeah, I got that for the boyfriend because I can't handle spicy food. My body wasn't meant for that, even though I live in Louisiana, but I can't handle like pepper spice. Well, I say I live in Louisiana. I live on the line Grew up in Louisiana. So, you know what? I'm going off topic here. So when it came to decorating this living room, I wanted to keep it kind of simple, but look super comfortable with pillows. And for some reason, well, actually I know the reason, I don't have these pillows anymore in my game. With the last update, I had to repair my game and I cleared out everything and it took away my pillows. So I actually have these pillows, I have every color saved from some blessed person in the gallery made, like a room full of pillows that, is base game you can use with everything. And yeah, I just have that saved, and that's how I have my pillows back. I have the pillows from, I believe it's Modern Looks or Desert Looks, one or the other, but they don't look like these. You know what I mean? Like they've got that different color on the other side, and I didn't want those pillows. I wanted these pillows. So if you see some pillows like off to the side, like in the yard, that's from that room that I got from the gallery that has all the pillows. So if you've run into that problem, go to the gallery and just search up pillows and you can find them and get them back in your game. I hate when that happens. I really do. And I'm like, this is supposed to be, I believe these pillows are base game. So I'm like, why do they disappear? Anyways, I digress. So you see me hopping around a little bit more because I'm trying to figure out the lighting of all the rooms. I didn't want to go overboard. I wanted a few nice lights. And then you have like your typical, hallway, household, regular room lights. Of course, as soon as I start recording, all of a sudden my phone goes off. I'm not a popular person, but this happens every single time I record. All right, I have it turned to silent. And see, that's why I never turn it to silent, because no one contacts me. All right. I am decorating the little hall entry table. I've got some shoes to the side. I'm trying to make it look lived in. I put the keys in this little basket, trying to make it look super realistic as possible. We've got some decorations, some books, a little trinket box. I found this hat because I was thinking like the teenage son, when he comes in from school, or if he's a young adult, he comes in from college or whatever, he just takes off his hat, puts it right there, puts his keys in the basket and just comes on in, makes himself comfortable. This little area, I decided to put the hutch that's got that little open area so I could put not pillows. I'm on a pillow kick. Those little towels, because the bathroom's right there. So when you go to the bathroom, if you need extra towels, we also have the guest bedroom that's off to the corner. You've got all the extra towels you need. Super convenient. Such a nice family. This bookshelf, I decided to, add some school books and, things like that, but also like games. Like, this is a fun family. We can play some games. I put like the new games on one shelf and then the nostalgia looking games on the other one that came with basement treasures. Because I just think like it looks like my old games, like Life or old Monopoly, something like that. So this little space behind the couch and everything, I decide to make like, this is the pets corner, with their food bowls and things like that. But the way the requester talked about his animals is like how I talk about my animals, like their family. So I end up putting their bowls in the dining room because they eat with the family. But this area is like, we've got the dog bed, we've got the cat tower. Since he has cats and dogs, I wanted to kind of keep it equal. But there is not as much stuff, I feel, for dogs as there is for cats in a sense. Like, I mean, like fun toys and stuff like that. But also when it comes to like activities, you can do more with dogs in the game, like, train them up and, do stuff like that. The cats, God bless them, they're just there. You could get close with them, but as far as like training them, you can't train them to do tricks. And I know realistically cats don't you can teach a cat tricks. It's just super hard and not every cat is willing to learn it. But I know with mine, I've taught her to mimic the sound of mama. Like literally if I say, say mama, she will make that sound that, sounds like mama. She's just mimicking me, but I think that's awesome. But, I wish there was like other things you could do with cats in the game. All right, so the most beautiful curtains, the only curtains I like, had to use them in this game. I just wanted this dining room to look simple and cute, not extremely lavish, but, just something perfect for this little family. Now, he explicitly told me he wanted the garage area to not necessarily be used as a garage. So that's why I put the truck, out front. And he said he wanted the garage to be like an at-home gym. So in my mind, I'm picturing this cute garage with, different sports equipment and things like that, and some clutter. And I always put like the washer and dryer in the garage, because I've had a couple of houses where that was in there. And to me, that's just such a fitting spot. Like my washer and dryer, I have my own, laundry room. But in The Sims, to me, it just takes up so much space. And since you're not going to use your garage anyways, because cars aren't actually functional, might as well put a washer and dryer in there. So yeah, I give them a little bit of workout equipment and decorate it up, spice it up a little bit. Now this bedroom, this is for mom and dad to have as much privacy as possible in this little house. You can only access it from the garage. So it's not huge, but it's a decent sized bedroom. And I try to make it look cozy. I love navy blue as, this paint in the game. To me, it just goes really well with all of the rest of the furniture swatches that's navy blue. It's not a shade off. It's not some weird, thing. Like, it goes with the comforter, and, there's a bunch of other, pieces of furniture that's navy that this paint goes with. I'm a sucker for things that match. I love me some matching stuff. I put this little cabinet, that also has towels and things like that in front of their bathroom, but I end up changing it out. I didn't like the way the wood looked. Again, I'm a sucker for things that match. Because even though this wood doesn't look, like it matches completely, it's a bookshelf. It makes sense with this little office area by their bedroom. But I decided to change it out for something that is white so that it at least matches the dresser. I just really like the way this dresser looked. I have a dresser that looks almost identical to this one. And yeah, I just didn't really want to change out that dresser for, a different, really wood looking swatch. Now over here, I had the hardest time trying to figure out what decorations to put. So I ended up putting this little divider down because I think it looks cute, I don't really have a special reason other than I think it looks cute. And I put this rug down, and I loved it so much. I use it twice in the same room because it just looks like something your feet could just, fall into. It's super cozy. You could feel it between your toes. Now their bathroom, it's small. Both the bathrooms are kind of small, but I try to, dress it up and make it look super cute and modern. Well, no, not modern. Real. Realistic. So I decide to kind of keep up this whole blue color scheme I have going on in here, and I decide to put up a little shelf above the tub. So instead of, having the soap rack and everything, have a shelf and, put more towels up there. I think I put like a little like rubber ducky and then I put some soaps and like bath salts and things like that. And to me, it looked, like something I would have in my bathroom. I don't have enough room for any shelf above my tub, but if I did, I do have a shelf in my other bathroom though. So you know what? I do have one. I have one. So again, shooting for realism, like everything would make sense in your normal real life house. So moving on to the next bathroom, I make it look a little bit more simple because this is the son's bathroom as well as the guest bathroom if anyone ever like comes over. So I don't make it look too much like, oh, there's a teenage son. I didn't want to like make it look like it was crazy used. And plus, not every teenage son is gonna, be disgusting in the bathroom. You know what? Don't judge. But as a teacher, I do know that boys' bathrooms are horrible. Girls aren't much better though, I will say that. But I just kind of keep that bathroom looking really nice, and I'm sure the mom is probably, really insistent on keeping everything neat for when guests come over. Now we are working on the teenage son's room, and I decided for like his hobbies and stuff to make him deeply into music and sports. Like the sports thing is maybe like just a thing for him to get a scholarship to college, but his real passion is music. So I give him a little TV. I put some decor down, like shoes, things like that. And I put him a little basketball trophy up. But I really liked this, vintage looking record set. Like he's a sucker for the classics. And here's his speaker. And I put him down just a regular acoustic guitar. He's trying to save up money to get him the best looking guitar and the best sounding one. But he's a young guy. He's just starting out. So yeah, that's kind of the whole like decor idea, skill idea that I'm going for. I have no idea if the requester has a sim like that, but he did tell me just decorate however I wanted to. So as I'm building, I get these ideas. These posters that have the guitars and stuff on it, like honestly, the decor is what made me want to do his room like this, because I really like all of the different decor that has guitars on it. They're so colorful and they're so different from each other, like they're not within the same set, so you can, style up anything how you want it to, and I just really wanted to use that, okay? So I'm gonna give him like a box of shoes and make it look like he's also into his shoes and his outer look. So the last bedroom we are going to work on is the guest bedroom. Now, I said a little bit earlier, I'm thinking of a guest bedroom that is like my guest bedroom, where you have a nice bed, it looks comfortable, but you also have stuff that is just clutter. It's things in boxes or things for the holidays. There's, maybe some old furniture that for some reason or other you're not getting rid of it. You don't know why. You know, you can easily sell it like on Facebook Marketplace or have a yard sale, but you haven't done it. It's just sitting there. So I kind of keep the decor in this room a little plain because I know I'm gonna put a whole lot of those clutter items I just mentioned there, and also put the holiday box. I use a lot of stuff from Basement Treasures in this room. I absolutely love the Basement Treasures kit. I use it in so many of my builds that I'm trying to give that realistic look. I put the old lamp in there because, again, you know, you haven't gotten rid of it yet. You don't know why you keep it, but you keep it. I think we all have stuff in our house like that. We're all slightly hoarding things, and I think that's healthy. Maybe not all the time, but every once in a while. Oh, I also put this ironing board in there, and the reason why is because for the longest time I couldn't find a space to have my ironing board, so I put it in the guest bedroom, and every time I needed to iron stuff, which wasn't often, I would iron it in the guest bedroom. So there's a little bit of just like my personal weird quirks in this house too. All right, so we are working on the last thing in this house, which is the patio. So at the patio, I dress it up with these rugs that I just thought were so colorful and reminded me of summer and, you know, hanging out with your family outside, grilling. And I dress this area up with, you know, just different grill items, condiments, things like that. I put some patio chairs that just, you know, face the grill. So it kind of gives that look that when we're out here cooking, we're out here talking, we're out here having a good time. I use this camping equipment because, you know, again, realism, if you have more people over, you're going to just get like a fold out chair and be like, okay, hey, you know, sit down, chill with us. We are near the end of this video, so I'm just putting the final touches down, you know, some little garden gnomes. I'm going to put down a couple of plants and some garden lights. I hope you have enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned for the screenshots, and until next time, have a good one.